Hello, Star Wars fans. Hey, they're just 224 days until Christmas 2021, and today we've got a vintage collection review of Boba Fett. This Boba Fett figure was just released this year. It's a repaint, and it's from the Return of the Jedi. So they've got the new card here. We're going to review this figure today and take a look at it. I've already separated the blister pack from the card, and we'll take a look at all of this together. So let's go ahead and start with the card. I do want to point out it's got a brilliant color on the card itself. Look how nice that is. You can really make out of Boba Fett. You know, a lot of these cards tend to be kind of darker in color. This one here, really bright, really nice. You can see all the detail there of Boba Fett. And of course, we've got the back here. So I really like the card. I think it is great for your collection. So we'll set that aside and then kind of get into our Boba Fett figure. Again, this card is typically mentioned, and I know it kind of gets repetitive for those of you who watch all the videos, but I think it's important for if anybody's just coming along to see. When they put this warning on the card, it says choking hazard. And on this one it says small parts not for children under 3 years. When they put that on the card, it's because it's got small parts in it that and a way to tell if it's going to be a choking hazard is if you were to just take a standard like toilet paper tube that from the inside of a toilet paper roll, and if the object will fit through that tube, it becomes a choking hazard. It could be a choking hazard. Again, I think the bulk of people purchasing this wouldn't be giving it or have it available for a small child, but maybe you're giving it to a younger kid who has a sibling. So it's just something to be on the lookout for. And in this case, it would definitely be Boba Fett's rifle there. That is going to be your choking hazard, and we'll talk about that in just a second. So with all these cards, they are double layered. These packs, they're double layered. You've got the outside packaging here that comes off, and it has the instructions or warnings, all those kind of disclaimers in it. Toss that aside, and then on the inside we've got our Boba Fett. And look, you can see the paint already on this, how detailed it is. They do a really wonderful job these days on these vintage collection figures. The amount of detail they're able to include on these is absolutely wonderful. And so let's go ahead and peel the tape off. I try to sit back a little further today so you guys can see more. Let's pull that tape off of there, and let's take a look at this rifle. And let me hold this up so you guys can see it real nice here in the light. Look, you can see the coloring that's on there, the grooves that are on the barrel. You've got the stock itself has some texture to it, and the scope is really well detailed. That's a nice weapon you've got here. So this is going to be your choking hazard. Of course, this would easily fit into a toilet paper tube roll, and that's going to qualify that as your choking hazard. Something that would also be quite easy to lose. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into Boba Fett. Pull him out of the packaging here and take a look at this figure. He looks great, and oh my goodness, they've got him really packed in here. And on the back, we've got this missile that's poked through. You can see you kind of got to tilt it and pull it out. And there we go. We've got it out. Let's take a look. Well, it's got some, we've got a little bit of soft goods here. This cape sticking out here is some soft goods. Look at the coloring on that pack right there on the back. Look how nice that is. It's weathered. Coloring's great. I love the soft goods. Anytime they put some soft goods on it, makes it nice that you can pose more easily and do more with it. I want to raise this arm. There's interesting details here. Look, you can see the lines going to the flamethrower here on his arm, and he's got this nice little piece around his shoulder. And again, that's a little bit malleable. It's a plastic rubbery material here that's on there. And again, that's also plastic. We've got these coming in. Now, interesting here to look at as well. You can see with all these figures, they're they're very very articulated. You can do a lot of posing by turning. Let me go ahead and show you this. Like I've got his arm turned so that like flamethrower is there, right? You see that? And then you can also turn this so that it's straight up. So you can tell the here at the wrist, this hand is posable. It's articulated here, as well as being able to point it up a little bit. See that? You can bend the wrist up a little bit. You can straighten it and even bend it down a little bit. See that? And you can see he's already posed to hold that rifle, right? You see the finger sticking out there that's going to go in that pistol grip. So we've got that in there. And then, of course, it's going to bend. Look how great that is, right? So the amount of articulation on all of these vintage collection figures now are wonderful. You can do a great deal of posing with them. You can adjust shoulder, wrist, elbow. They also are articulated here at the waist, so you can turn the figures, and they move in all those directions. It should be noted here, he's got this little sight mechanism at the top. This is rubberized, so it's not going to be as apt to snap if you've got it like thrown in a toy box or something like that. That's not going to be as apt to snap. Look at the paint. Look at the paint on that helmet even, right? And get it under the light here where you can see. Look how brilliant that is. Here on his armor, chest plate, all of that. I am super impressed. Of course, this sight is not movable. It's fixed on there. You can see it's cast on there, right? So that is not movable. You can't put the sight down, but it's great, great. He's got his pack here on the side. This is again, it's a kind of a rubberized material. The belt is rubberized. Also note here with the legs, these legs are also on a pivot, right there at the top of the leg. You can see it. So I've got his foot turned down, his foot turned up, because that's at the you can tell I'm doing that at the knee, but you can also do it here at the thigh, right? So that turns all the way around. See that? And as I was doing before, it's also at the knee. You can turn it all the way around. So just so you're aware that it is movable here. The hip joint is actually above that part. So where it turns, there's a joint up underneath his backpack here, and you can lift his leg up, and it will turn on that pivot. So let's do that just a little bit here so you guys can see, like if you want to put him in a kneeling, crouching position, how you might be able to pull that off. And it's a little tricky. Let's get this. Here we go. Here we go. So there, I've got his hip turned, and we can bend the knee to put him in a like crouching position. Come on, you got to get these. You got to get these pivots lined up so that they're freed up and that they'll move. So there you can see I've got that knee bent, and you can kind of see right here, this is the same pivot that's on the hip. Do you see there on that knee? See that pivot right there? Right? That's the joint. That gets it's really firm when you get them, and then as you work it, of course, it loosens up. But that's the same sort of joint that's at the hip. You get this here that makes it so it does get very difficult. And if you try to bend it where that is not, so you kind of got to look. I don't know if you guys can see right there at the hip. If you try to bend it, you have to pay attention. You're bending it there. Like if you've got it turned and you try to bend it, it won't. you have to get that lined up so it's freed up. And as it's freed up, see, it's really, once you get it in a spot where the leg can move, then you can bend it up. Same with this one over here. I've got to look for that joint, pivot it to the front, get it all lined up, and then it will bend on that. And again, it's wanting to bend. It's really at the at where that thigh rotates. It wants to see that rotation. That joint wants to come open, but the joint back here, see up in there, is still kind of seized, and it's not wanting to bend. And I feel like I'm going to pop that leg right off if I keep kind of pushing that any further. Let me see if I can rotate it and get it to bend. That's really, really difficult here. And in this figure itself, that actually, as I'm studying it and looking at it, this right leg is kind of fused. So I would end up popping that off if I were to really bend at it anymore. I also point out these feet are on rockers, so you can move the foot. So it does become very nice as far as posability. I will take just a little bit of a mark off on this one, only because that joint there at that hip is fused, and I can't get that leg to bend at all. This one here, it's just not going to do it. So there's our Boba Fett. Let's go ahead and get him his rifle. So as I mentioned before, you can see that hand is already positioned to take the rifle, and if we put it in his hand here and then push the finger, this rifle's interesting. So let's see if we can get his hand to go through the grip, the finger through the grip, and then into that hole. Okay, so I can see I'm gonna have to come at it from the top. We're gonna have to take the rifle in the hand, and we're gonna have to push it in at the top and then pivot it down, just like that. Santa's can't hardly see without his glasses. So I've got to put this in here just so that I can see and get that position. And those fingers are really bent over, so it becomes kind of tough to get him to hold that pistol grip and for that finger to go in the slot. Oh man, this is a tricky maneuver to get it on there. And then while I'm doing this, oh, there we go. So I bent it around backwards, and then we're going to pivot it all the way through. I got to get the finger to go in there. The reason I purchased this is because, of course, Boba Fett does show up in season 2 of The Mandalorian, and I wanted to get this figure so that I could put it in my Slave 1 that's coming. And this is really, you know what? This is just not going to happen. I can already tell that it's like the hand to go through that hold isn't there, and for his thumb to grip it, that's not going to happen. I'm going to have to back this out. So I would love to have Boba Fett with the Slave 1. And to do that, then I went ahead and got this Return of the Jedi one, because I don't know when Hasbro will get around to making a vintage collection Mandalorian Season 2 Boba Fett. You know, folks, this just ain't going to happen. There is no way that the dimensions on this are going to accommodate this pistol grip going into his hand while the finger goes into that trigger guard. So I'm going to try one more time. I'm going to face the rifle backwards and put his hand through the pistol grip here, and then we're going to get his thumb. We got to get the thumb on the other side of it. Get the finger through there as well. Okay, we got to get everybody through that pistol grip, and then we got to pivot the pistol grip around so that it stays in his hand, and that we can get the rifle then positioned so that it again that just does not want to go in to that position. Actually the issue seems to be the armor that's on his hand doesn't want to go into that pistol grip so that you can turn it all the way around and get it where he would hold it in a natural position and get that finger. Oh, look what Santa just did. Oh, Boba, your hand. Oh, maybe Palpatine could use Boba's hand to make clones. Oh, it looks like maybe I even broke it. Look at that. That's not good, Santa. So I'm gonna wrestle with this. I'm gonna see if I can put that back and just see how much that might be broken, or if I can salvage it. Again, this is just a tough position to put the hand into to hold this blaster. I think I'm going to have to stop short. I'm not going to be able to get it turned so that his finger will go into that trigger guard. Now, I don't know if you've seen other YouTube videos or other people who have reviewed this figure who've been able to get that in there. I'd be curious to see if that's been done, but I just don't see it possible. And so let's take him back. Let's put his hand back into back into there. Oh, there, it's fine. Santa didn't do any permanent damage, but you can tell it does not, right? Like that's not going to pose very well at all. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it back out. We're going to see if we can figure out another way to get Boba to hold this so that it's posable, because you would ideally want Boba to hold this rifle and be able to point it at somebody and have it posed. And I just can't figure out how you would do that with his hand position, with the finger, where that pistol grip is. None of that is working. Look, folks, I can't do it. I can't get this rifle to go in there. The best I could figure is we're going to have to, we're going to have to just have him hold the rifle. I'll put his handle around the stock here. So if he holds the stock in his left hand or right hand, and then we can put him in that classic pose that you would have him in Return of the Jedi, where maybe he's holding the barrel in the other hand, sort of menacing. We'll make Boba Fett look menacing, holding this rifle in sort of a man, oh man, this is just a tough thing to do. I don't honestly. I'm frustrated with this weapon not being able to be really positioned like you would want to display the figure, or pose it for taking pictures, recreating scenes, all of that from a collector standpoint. Here we go. There we go. I was finally able to at least get Boba Fett to hold this in a position that somewhat reflects what he might look like in Return of the Jedi, right? So we've got him holding that, and again, I didn't point out really before, but his head is articulated where we can turn his head, and we can tilt it up and down. So it does. It's very nice. I love the figure. Absolutely love this Boba Fett figure. I think he's great. I'm going to be excited to put him in the Slave One when that comes, and he's going to be a great addition to the collection. This particular figure, I do have an issue with the hip joint that doesn't want to bend, and this weapon design is not compatible with his finger, his pistol grip, any of that, and it doesn't come with another pistol. So I can set him up and all of that, but I can't really do too much more. So, folks, that's my review. It's a beautiful figure, absolutely beautiful figure, but it's limited in its posability due to the hip and due to how he wants to hold that rifle. So please like the video if you would, share it with others. I appreciate your support so much. And as we get closer to channel membership, I will announce again, I'll be giving these figures away to our channel members on a monthly basis. We'll pick one of the figures that I previously reviewed. So this Boba Fett himself here will eventually go into the rotation. We'll give him away, the one that I reviewed here on YouTube. And we also then have the packed one that's been unopened that I will give away so that folks can add it to their collection. This will be to our channel members, and we will be giving away this Jar Jar Binks when we reach 4,000 subscriber hours, view hours. At this point, we're just over 2,600 hours, 2,600 hours. We've got about 1,400 to go. When we reach that 4,000 mark, we've got a special character giveaway. We've got this Black Series Jar Jar Binks here. It's a beautiful figure. We've reviewed it previously. I'll be giving that away. And then going forward, we have all kinds of plans for toy giveaways. Our channel members, our snow troopers, they will be our snow elf troopers. But we'll be giving away snow trooper figures. We'll be giving away Black Series vintage collection, perhaps even a retro collection figure here or there. And if we get enough desire, we get enough members, we might even do like a Hot Toys, one of those premium figures. So please support the channel if you would. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And until next time, my friends, Merry Christmas and may the Force be with you. Bye-bye.